The 2026 USCIS policy changes are officially here, and wow, they are absolutely massive. If you're currently navigating the U.S. immigration system, you've probably seen the headlines, and let's be honest, you're probably feeling a bit overwhelmed. Well, today, we're cutting right through all that noise. In this explainer, we're going straight to the official guidance to uncover exactly what has changed for spouse visas and adjustment of status. Just listen to this rather intimidating language straight out of the May 2026 USCIS Policy Memorandum. It completely rewrites the playbook on how green cards are processed. Domestic adjustment of status, it's no longer just some routine administrative step you check off a list. It's now a strict, case-by-case evaluation. Adjudicators are explicitly told to treat this entire process as an extraordinary form of relief.
So, what does this actually mean for you? First things first, please do not panic and absolutely do not leave the country just because you read a scary headline somewhere. Leaving could actually trigger some incredibly severe unlawful presence bars. Now, while consular processing abroad is definitely one path, adjustment of status inside the United States does still exist. It just means your application strategy needs to be absolutely bulletproof compared to previous year.
To help you navigate this, here is the agenda for our explainer today. We'll be covering the 2026 AOS policy shift, spousal timelines and wait backlogs, the new 18-month work permit, true costs and new fees, and finally, building your best case. All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, the 2026 AOS policy shift and understanding the new baseline. The contrast here is pretty staggering. Simply having a valid marriage and a lawful entry used to almost guarantee your approval. But today, that's literally just the bare minimum starting point. Officers are now conducting this strict totality of the circumstances analysis. The simple absence of negative factors just isn't going to cut it anymore. You essentially have to actively prove to them why you deserve to stay.
Moving right along to Section 2, spousal timelines and wait backlogs, or basically planning your wait.
Surviving this new discretionary review depends heavily on who is actually sponsoring you, and there's a massive divide here. Spouses of U.S. citizens face absolutely zero numerical visa caps. The underlying petition usually takes about 10 to 18 months, and you can often adjust your status concurrently. But if you're married to a green card holder, you get thrust into the F2A preference category, which is severely capped and heavily backlogged. For those spouses, the reality is, well, it's a lot harsher.
Get this, 155.5 months. That is nearly 13 years. That is the current wait time for F2A spouses of green card holders to get a visa. Because of these massive, honestly kind of mind-boggling backlogs, establishing your place in line early by filing your I-130 petition is absolutely critical. You have to do it, even if you know you're going to wait over a decade to take the next step.
Okay, on to Section 3, the 18-month work permit, specifically the EAD rollbacks. These extended wait times make interim benefits more crucial than ever, but USCIS just slashed the maximum validity period for employment authorization documents, or EADs, from a comfortable 5 years down to a really stressful 18 months. This hits all initial and renewal applications filed on or after December 5th, 2025. Now, the agency claims this is all for security reasons, but for applicants, it's a massive, massive paperwork headache.
And the real severe risk here is employment gaps. That old 540-day automatic extension safety net, yeah, that is completely gone, terminated on October 30th, 2025. If your 18-month permit expires before your renewal is approved, you have to stop working immediately. No exceptions. This means HR departments and applicants have got to be incredibly proactive. You literally need to be filing for renewals exactly at that 180-day mark before expiration.
Oh, and the bureaucracy doesn't stop there. The I-693 medical exam now comes with some incredibly rigid rules and a very, let's call it, unique quirk if you're filing online. You actually have to physically break the seal on the civil surgeon's envelope to scan it into the portal. But wait, you must physically retain that copy for your interview. And worse, if your adjustment of status gets denied, that medical exam is instantly invalidated for any future applications.
Let's turn to Section 4, True Costs and New Fees, and look at the financial trade-offs.
Submitting a complete, bulletproof application in 2026 means navigating this complex, two-layer fee system. Filing online does offer a bit of a financial discount across both the I-485 and I-30 forms. But hey, don't just look at the upfront sticker price here. You still have to pay those unwaivable statutory fees, plus all the hidden costs of the new policies we just talked about, like having to fund work permit renewals every 18 months instead of every 5 years. It really adds up.
Now here is a massive pitfall you want to avoid. Questions 61 and 62 on Form I-130. Checking both boxes or leaving them blank. That will result in the immediate rejection of your petition. The agency is strictly enforcing clear processing pathways right now. You absolutely must commit to exactly which route you are taking before you submit your initial paperwork.
Finally, we arrive at Section 5, building your best case and creating a fortress application. So how do you actually survive this new era of discretionary review? Well, to win that extraordinary administrative grace we talked about earlier, you have to proactively document your positive equities to prove your ties to the U.S. A simple marriage certificate, nowhere near enough anymore. You need to show the whole shebang: joint bank accounts, shared leases, tax returns, and deep community involvement. If you have U.S. citizen children relying on you for medical or educational care, you need to document that reliance heavily. You have to vividly prove the human reality of your case.
Which brings us to our final thought. Before you make any drastic travel decisions or file a single piece of paperwork, ask yourself this: is your application a fortress? The environment has fundamentally changed, right? It's stricter, it's less forgiving, and it absolutely requires expert preparation. So looking at your life and your ties to the U.S. right now, do you truly have the overwhelming proof needed to earn that extraordinary administrative grace? Think long and hard about that as you plan your next steps. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next explainer.